So I've been dealing with a bunch of ignorant motherfuckers who get it all handed to them and then talk about how they did it all themselves. No, they didn't. They worked together with others, mostly family, and they got something out of it. Meanwhile, they want to talk about how they got it all themselves. I can tell you straight up, Jamie Curtis didn't get shit by herself. Doesn't matter how hard she works. What matters is that she gives no credit to any of the people who helped her out, and there's a lot of them. Most of them helped her out because she's pretty. Now, don't get me wrong, I do love Jamie. But at the same time, I am responsible for at least two of the men in her life that she was playing, being fed up with it, and leaving. I'm actually proud of that. Actually, I should say 3 men because I got to include myself in that. The fact is, we don't live in a decent country. We got most people in America, over 60%, live paycheck to paycheck. Missing one paycheck is enough for them to end up with nothing. A lot of people tell me that the jobs that I worked, they got paid $20 or more for working those jobs. Whereas I got paid $7.50 an hour or less in most of them. I should have been able to defend myself. I should have been allowed. The media, they slandered the fuck out of me and didn't care about my side of the story. The courts went out of their way at every step of the way to make sure that I didn't get an honest day in court. Now, with the public pretenders, that's just a matter of laziness. All of them told me the same thing. Every public pretender I had told me they just have too much on their caseload. Well, with all due respect, if the homeless 3/4 of your clients are not being represented because your caseload is too big, then you're a piece of shit. There's a lot of people, they didn't like what I had to say. They didn't like the fact that I recorded them. I don't give a fuck, they should have come forward. There's a lot of people like Shannon Alvarado. Fuck, I don't know what the hell her issue is, other than the fact that she's mental. And I like Shannon, she was nice to me. But she didn't keep her word. I let her know that Kara Johnson Miles was supposedly friends with Rochelle Shelley Campbell. Repeatedly. I let her know repeatedly that I needed her to write a statement about the bullshit that she exposed with Kara Johnson Miles. Oh, I don't understand why. But you can't listen to me, but her and Dan Faber and Mandy Hughes can all talk about me. Instead of y'all talking about me, why don't you find out what the fuck is going on? Oh yeah, you don't have time. You got plenty of time to talk about me, but no time to listen to me. So that was my biggest issue with at least 2 of those people. Is that I was constantly listening to them talk about themselves and their personal lives. I called you because you said you were going to help me. I didn't call you to listen about your personal lives. But you know what? Because you let me know about your personal lives, I worried about you. With several of Shannon Alvarado's friends that disappeared, you know, I kept a close eye on that and a close watch on that to Well, hopefully her friends were found. And they were, which is a good thing. But at the same time, her alcoholism and her conduct made it impossible to get anything done there. And she's unwilling to admit that she did anything wrong. Now, just because it's not illegal doesn't mean it's not wrong. All of her screaming there, obviously, if too much noise shuts me down, then yeah, screaming at your boyfriend every fucking night is probably gonna shut me down. This is common fucking sense. Now, when it comes to Mandy Hughes, you know, there was more than once that she was going to go in to help me make a report. That's the thing. Without somebody actually going in with me, it was never going to fucking happen. That's why I had to do desperate shit. I mean, I had to crash course learn how to do a lot of things that I didn't know how to do. I didn't know how to make YouTube videos. Didn't know how to take screenshots. Didn't know shit about protection orders. But now, there are people that I need to get protection orders against. Like the Dual County Sheriff's Department. And, well, the lady who's in charge of that doesn't know how to do that. And as far as getting protection orders served against Alicia Bollinger and Derek Apodaca and Tim Beeson and Ted Bollinger, I need their addresses to do that. That's the thing. Officers absolutely refuse to look at any of the evidence that I brought to them. Obviously, I'm fucking trying to get a goddamn court date. But without somebody going in with me, it was never going to happen. Now, Miss Peaches, her name is Kayla Trujillo. Well, she should have come forward about what she knew, but she procrastinated for over a year. Oh yeah, I'm gonna, but you never fucking did, Miss Peaches. You made zero effort to actually sit down and write shit down. Zero effort. You should have written it down, Miss Peaches. But you never did. You thought that, what, me not going to prison for fucking murder was fine and dandy? No, I was made a target because of what happened. And you coming forward and telling the truth was the difference. See, it only would have taken one person coming forward and telling the truth. Just one. But they didn't want to. They were too good for that. They didn't care because they weren't having to go through it. They didn't have everything stolen from them repeatedly. They weren't assaulted repeatedly. They didn't have people continually harassing them and threatening their lives. You can't make me feel bad for speaking out. You know, I look at all the dislikes when I make videos. I don't give a fuck if you dislike it. I don't do it for likes. Fact is, when somebody's gone through as much trauma as I have, you can't expect me to be happy and fucking sunshiny all the fucking time. I shouldn't have had to break the fucking law. And you know, there are people like Candace Bondurant who went out of her way to fuck me over. And then she thinks that by cutting me off and refusing to speak, that makes it okay. No, at that point, you're a fucking criminal. You did more harm than good. And that's the thing, is that I'd rather have 1,000 enemies than one friend like that. I would rather have 1,000 enemies than one friend like Candace Bondurant, a.k.a. Candace Dale, a.k.a. Candace Hatfield. Now, there's people like Laura Nelson. She needs to come forward about what she knows. There's a lot of stuff on those other phones that I had that was pretty important. problem is, police kept stealing those from me, preventing me from showing that in court, preventing me from being able to prepare for court. See, this is what I needed, is a place of my own where I could sit down. Exactly what I had before Natalie died. A place where I could sit down, work on collecting all of the evidence, and not be bothered, not listen to Shannon Alvarado screaming, or listen to my dad screaming, or listen to Brett Roloff screaming. And don't get me wrong, I love Brett. He's always been good to me. Now, his girlfriend's a different kind of psycho altogether, and I like her. But meth changes people. Had I known that Brett was on methamphetamines, I wouldn't have gone there. He used to be the most anti-meth dude out there. And folks keep calling me a liar. Meanwhile, I post the evidence. I made video recordings of the situation there in Bristol, Virginia while I was there. You know, a lot of those screaming matches lasted for hours. And then, as soon as Brett would leave, his girlfriend would just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and fucking talk at me. About what a terrible person Brett is and how he should do this and how he should do that. And then she's tracking him on his phone like some sort of creepy ass fucking stalker. But it's alright because she's female. I am justifiably pissed off. Candace Bondurant has no fucking morality. Brett Roloff does. Now Brett, he's probably pissed off at me about exposing that. His meth use and his girlfriend's meth use. But the problem is, Brett kept on telling me, yeah, I'll go in with you to talk to the police, and he just never did. With the police in Rawlins, Wyoming, stealing my computer, you know, that put me in a real fucked up situation, because the last few months, I've really needed that computer. It's got evidence on it. Just like those phones that were stolen in Washington State. They had important evidence on them. Like Alex Furman explaining that he's afraid to come forward because of his children. And Mandy Hughes talking about how her family is in the mafia. I don't know if that's true or not, but it'd sure be nice to be able to show that she said it. And that's the thing, is that without people willing to come forward in public, nothing good was going to happen. Rochelle Shelley Campbell, she can roast in hell. However, I hope Candace goes there first. It's not a matter of hatred. It's a matter of hoping that people who do stuff like that leave. You do that to another human being, you don't deserve your time on this planet. You're a shitty person. Although honestly, it does show an example of what not to be. I had to do illegal things to try to force the police to do their jobs. Because after 7 months of repeated abuse, repeated assaults, repeated threats, repeated harassment, none of these people who said they'd go in with me ever actually did. None of them understood that it costs money that I don't have to go to all these places. Meanwhile, I have to make a choice between either going to court or trying to get a place, because there isn't enough money for both. And without a place, I don't have a mailbox where I can collect evidence. I gotta trust people like Brenda Dickinson, who just didn't keep her word, didn't answer her door. So why the fuck did I have that stuff sent there? Meanwhile, I'm trying to go see my therapist so that I can get an honest fucking day in court and get my therapist to actually help me. But I can't afford to go see my therapist because it's all getting eaten up. All of my money is spent trying to make sure my vehicle is still running so that I can go to one court date after another after another. Now, before August of last year, or August of the year before now, I guess, all the shit that they had on me was bullshit. The things that I did, the laws that I actually broke, like the laws here in Chapel, Nebraska, where I was driving around like a fucking idiot in town. There's a reason I did that. To try to force the police to do their jobs. See, when I called 911, they didn't even make a fucking report. Didn't even try. Now that's bullshit. So I had to get somebody else to do it. I was told, hey, if you make a 911 call, they have to make a report. Really? Because they didn't. I wonder if Officer Cody Selhorst made a report on any of the 4 occasions that I met with him. The fact is, these officers went out of their way to do everything in their power to prevent me from having an honest day in court. Assaulting me repeatedly, lying to medical staff. What those medical staff did is illegal as fuck. When I was in Scotts Bluff recently, I was released from jail, and they knew that as soon as I was released from jail, I was going to try to file a report against the police and the jail. So what did they do? They dragged me off to the Regional West, which I was also trying to file a report about their assault the year before. Meanwhile, they're going out of their way to do everything in their power to punish me. They forced drugs into my body in multiple locations for trying to make a police report. Jamie Curtis got busted lying. Haha, Jamie. That's what you get for playing people. And that was the situation that I was dealing with before Natalie died. Jamie playing fucking head games. She didn't realize how fucked up of a situation that would end up being. I'm sure of that. But then it was too late for her to come forward and be honest. Too much pride. It would interfere with her game playing. So, tonight, one of her friends got a hold of me to pretend he's a Jehovah's Witness. Told me I got in contact with them in South Dakota for help. Turns out he wasn't trying to help. He was harassing me for Jamie. He definitely wasn't a Jehovah's Witness. And that's the biggest issue right now, is that there is just so much of this. And I am expected to magically come up with the money to do these things. I'm expected to magically come up with an ID, magically be able to do things that I'm not capable of doing. They take advantage of poverty. Who's they? Well, that would be the whole United States. And then there's the people that want to be acknowledged by the pretty people. They think that by going after innocent people who aren't pretty, who are broke, that it'll make things all better. Well, maybe if I harass Sean Schwartz, Natalie will take me back. Well, that didn't happen, did it, Tim? That's because, unlike me, you're an actual piece of shit. You goddamn right I speak out. My voice is the only thing I have. Now, Jackie McKenzie, she's been spying on my Facebook for a while now. She, according to Jamie, was letting Jamie know whenever I posted. Meanwhile, Jackie somehow in all that time couldn't come forward. Not that she needed to. I admitted that James didn't rape Jamie before they found Natalie's killer. And that's because Jamie let me know that James didn't. Jamie let me know. But also, Jamie's the one that said that he was to begin with. Now, obviously, Jamie lies a lot. You can't be a player without lying. That's the way that she strung 6 guys along before she left chapel. She was stringing 6 guys along, lying to each of them, saying, "Oh no, you're the only one I care about, and all these other guys, they're guys that I want to go away. But no, I don't want you to do anything about it. I don't want you to do anything about it. I don't want you to do anything about it." And she did that with all of us. Meanwhile, I wasn't interested in sex, so I was different from the rest of them. I just didn't want to lose my best friend. She was the only friend I really had at that point in time. Now, as far as Cammie Fred Eamon Jepson goes, she married into the Jepson family. She married Rory Jepson. He's the one whose funeral I came back for. But they were separated. They got a kid together. But she wanted to get involved because somebody let her know that I had posted a video about Brent. Well, with Brent. I recorded him. I had to, in order to show the truth. Now, people keep calling me a liar. That's fine. I did lie. I lied and said that I would kill the president. But I did that for a reason. I did that to try to force the police to take a look at what was going on. To try to force an outside agency to take a look at what was going on. Now, here in Nebraska, when I went down to get those protection orders, the lady told me she doesn't know what to do if I've already gone to the state patrol and they didn't do anything. And that's the thing, when you're a broke homeless person, they're not going to do shit unless someone goes in with you. Someone needs to go in with you, and not 6 months down the road, not 11 months down the road. When something fucked up happens, you need to fucking help that person. Homeless people have no fucking rights in this country because they don't have money. You blame everything that happens in America on homeless people. All homeless people must be junkies. Meanwhile, Natalie's dad is a junkie, her sister is a junkie, and she was a junkie. Maddie Bowe is a junkie. And then, of course, all homeless males must be child molesters or rapists. Meanwhile, Ted Bollinger is a child molester and a rapist. Same thing with Tim Beeson. Now with Tim Beeson, it's just statutory rape. But see, that's the thing, is that people keep treating me like I'm that person. Now, the stuff that was said in court, obviously it's slander. The things that Shannon Alvarado knew about Kara Johnson Miles, they were important because they show the connection between the people who were slandering my name and the Bollinger family.